Good morning, everybody. I've had to switch the turkeys to a different style automatic feeder. I did have them on a bigger feeder that we'd gotten from a neighbor, but it was just allowing them to waste way too much food. So I switched them back to my homemade automatic feeder, which is this one here, and now they can barely waste any food at all. Still a little bit, because turkeys are just messy eaters, but not nearly the amount that they were wasting before. This is working out really well.
It's going to be an exciting day for the baby rabbits today. They are getting their own tractor today. After we finish chores, we're going to set up a new tractor for them and separate them from their mom. They are plenty old enough to be weaned, and then we'll see how many girls and boys we have. The goats are really enjoying the routine of moving them every day from just their regular pen over to the training pen that we have where we're training them on electric wire. The training is going really well. They have not even tried to escape one time. So you can see that they're anxious to get out of there and to go forage in their little training pen. Come on, Annabelle. Annabelle gets distracted. Come on, Annabelle, let's go. Come on. There you go.
We've gotten a lot of questions about how the goats are doing in this temporary pen that I built. We put them in here for two reasons. One, because we wanted this area behind me to be cleared. We wanted the goats to eat down all of the things so eventually we can get in here with saws and cut down pretty much everything. I don't think this area was ever intentionally planned to be here. I think after the previous owner passed away and this place was vacant for a while, it just kind of overgrew. You can see that there is a piece of cattle panel right down the middle of this row of bushes and things. I think this used to just be kind of a fence line here. Anyway, now that the goats have cleared it, we can get in there to actually get the rest of the stuff out of there, which is what we want to do. But the real reason we're moving the goats here every day is to train them on the electric fence. Goats are notoriously hard. They're probably the hardest animal there is to keep inside of a pen with just electric fence. So in order to do that, you have to have a lot of strands of wire. On this training pen, I put up 6 strands of wire, and that is working really, really well. I'm also working on the big area that we're going to have the goats in, which is about an acre paddock that we're going to have the goats in, along with the new family milk cow that we're planning on getting. Back there, I'm actually going to do 7 strands, since that will be a permanent house for them. I just want to make sure that we have a totally fenced in a way that will keep them in. I'm also testing out a new solar energizer for the fence. I had an old one that I had on here and it just was wearing out. It just wasn't doing a very good job anymore. So I picked up this one from Zariba. This is a 15-mile solar powered energizer. This will work great back where we're building their new area because we have no electricity back there. This thing has been keeping this fence energized between 6,000 and 8,000 volts since I put it up. Even on cloudy days like today, it stays a nice constant charge. I think this is supposed to be able to go like 10 to 14 days with no sun at all and still be able to power the fence. So that's pretty rare here in the Ozarks for us to have that many cloudy days, but this thing is working out really well. We get a lot of questions about why we don't use the goats more often for clearing land. Well, part of the reason is because we originally didn't have them trained on electric fence, and it's just not practical to build a permanent fence everywhere that you want to clear a piece of land. But the other thing is we have really short goats. We raise Nigerian dwarf goats, and you can see that their idea of clearing land is declared about 3 feet tall. So this is fine in this situation because now I could get in there with a saw and cut down the things that I want to cut down. But if we had a big area, say a 5-acre area that we wanted cleared, short goats aren't going to do a real good job unless you only want it cleared so that you can crawl around on your hands and knees. They just they can only clear as high as they can reach. So they love to eat all the things that they can, they just can't reach the tall things like some of the big goats can. So that's why a lot of times we don't use the goats for clearing land. I brought down some treats for the pigs, some tomato ends from Sarah canning tomatoes yesterday. They're absolutely gonna love them, but I didn't bring them down just to give them a treat. I actually brought them down to distract them so that I can try to weigh them today. There's a way to weigh pigs without a scale, which is good because it's hard to get them to stand still on a scale. What you do is you measure around the pig, right behind the front legs, and then you also measure from the in between the ears all the way down to where their tail starts. You take that first measurement around the body and you multiply it by itself. Then you multiply that number by their length and divide the whole thing by 400, and that's how you get an approximate weight on your pigs. I have no idea what to expect on these guys yet. I'm hoping that I can weigh at least Penny and Big Mama. Let's give it a try. Come on, pig. We got a bunch of rain last night, so it's pretty messy up by their feeders. This spot doesn't look quite as bad, so this is where we'll try to do this. $34 and a half. $40. $34 and a half and 40. Let me get out my calculator now that my hands are good and dirty. All right, so 34 and a half times 34 and a half is 1,190. Take 1,190 times 40, which was the length. That gives us 47,600, and divide that by 400, 119 pounds. So it looks like she is right now at 120 pounds-ish. So not too bad. She's getting close to the halfway mark. Let's try to weigh Big Mama and see where she's at. I didn't figure she's going to be as easy. Maybe I'll try to do length first. $41.5. I'm not sure that was super accurate, but I think it was pretty good. 39. Let's figure that out and see where she's at. So 39 and 41.5. 157 pounds. I knew she was quite a bit bigger. That's a nice weight for her. She's gonna actually be our first one to be ready this year. I just know it. But they're all making great progress. I'm super happy with the pigs this year.
Well, the time has come to take the baby bunnies away from their mother and wean them, separate them. We have this rabbit tractor over here, all set up for them, but we need to take them from their mom over there. This is the first time that we'll find out how many girls versus boys we have in this litter of 5 bunnies. So Kevin and I work together to do this. He grabs the rabbits and puts them on their back, and I check their little bottoms to see if they're a boy and a girl. So we're gonna get started on that. A while ago I did a video that shows in depth how to tell the difference on rabbits between boys and girls. We'll make sure that we link to that video right here, so if you want to learn how to do that you can, but we're gonna get started. Got the first black bunny. Is about to poop on me. I would say that's a girl.
All right, one girl.
Rabbit number 2 is also a girl. This one is a boy. So we have 2 girls and a boy. That was all 3 of the black rabbits. So let's go get the gray rabbits. With the silver fox rabbits, the gray color is actually considered blue. I'm hoping for 1 blue female because we want to keep 1 for breeding.
That's a girl. That
is a girl, so that's great. We have 1 that we can keep.
Look how beautiful those are.
They're such pretty color. Okay. Okay, the last one, the second gray or blue. That is another girl. Awesome.
Awesome.
Total of 4 girls and 1 boy in this litter.
That's great, yeah, because like Sarah said, we want to keep 1 more female to round out our breeding stock for right now. We're trying to keep our breeding stock pretty low right now. Last year we bred a lot of rabbits. At one point we had 10 does that we were breeding. So right now we're just going to try to keep 2 does and a buck. Keep our numbers low because we have plenty of frozen rabbit in the freezer. But the nice thing about rabbits is if you want to, you know, suddenly scale up again, it's very easy to do. So this is good. I'm glad that one of those ended up being a female that we can keep. So we wanted to take a couple minutes today to talk to you guys about a subject that we know is going to be a little bit uncomfortable, a little controversial maybe.
Sensitive.
The reason that we want to talk about this though is because it's a question that we get asked a lot. I would say on most of the videos that we do about animals, we get asked this question at least 1 time.
The question revolves around us raising animals for meat. We made a decision a long time ago that 100% of the meat that we eat as a family, we are going to raise on our farm, on our homestead. It can be hard for a lot of people to think about and consider whether or not it's right for them, because ultimately you're raising an animal on your farm. You're raising it from a very small animal to a mature animal, and in the end you are, I mean, let's face it, you're killing that animal so that you can eat it and your family can eat it. And that is a very tough subject for a lot of people to consider.
Now, the real question that we get asked a lot, though, is not so much about why we raise animals to eat, but really it revolves around how can we be so nice to the animals while they're alive and then kill them to eat them.
Which some people find cruel, to raise an animal, treat it nicely, give it a wonderful life, and then in the end, kill it so that we can eat it.
Right. Now, when we decided to start raising our own animals for food, we did this partially because we knew how the animals were treated in the commercial meat raising system. You know, when you watch videos or you see, you know, the inside of some of these places where they, you know, raise thousands and thousands and thousands of pigs all crammed together, living on cement or on graded floors. They never get to act like a pig would like to act. You see chickens being crammed into barns, sometimes, you know, a couple 100,000 chickens in one barn. They never get to, you know, experience the sunlight. They never get to
air.
They never get to eat a bug. They never, I mean, you know, so for us it came down to, if we were going to continue to eat meat, which we like meat, we like to be meat eaters, in order to do that with a good conscience, we had to raise the meat ourselves so that we knew that the animals were being raised in an ethical way.
Absolutely. And we do name a lot of our animals. We've named our pigs. We tame them so that they trust us. We develop a relationship with them. And really that, to us, is part of giving them a good life. Not only do we want them to have a good life, but we also want them to have an ethical and sensitive end of life.
Right.
So we try really hard to find ways to end their life, to, you know, kill them in a way that is fast, as painless as possible, and in a natural environment for them.
Right.
One thing that I often think about when we're asked this question, either in a response to a video or on Instagram, one thing that I think about is, if you think of it, every packaged meat product in the grocery store, every cellophaned pound of ground beef, every frozen chicken breast, everything that you get at the grocery store at one point had a face, and there was a living being, a living animal, before it got to the grocery store. And it's easy to separate ourselves from that because we don't see the face in the grocery store. We just see a little piece of meat or a chicken nugget or something like that. But if you step back and understand where that meat came from and that animal came from, and if it's important to you to make sure that those animals were treated nicely and treated fairly and sensitively, then you'll understand a little bit more where we're coming from and why we've chosen to break the cycle for our family from buying meat that those animals may have been mistreated.
Right. But I know we have a lot of vegetarians and vegans who watch our channel, and I have a lot of respect for the people who live that lifestyle, especially if they're doing it because they're not advocates of the way animals are raised in a commercial setting. Believe it or not, we probably have a lot in common in our thinking of how that system works. We've decided not to stop eating meat, obviously, like a vegetarian or a vegan, but we have decided, just like a lot of you guys have, to remove ourselves from putting our dollars, putting our money into a system that, really is a broken system and really a pretty unsustainable system. We hope that this helps clarify a little bit our position on raising animals and why we do it. We really feel like it's because we love animals because we care for animals that we feel the need to raise them ourselves. We just don't want to be part of a system where animals are mistreated, or just not even intentionally mistreated, but raised in ways that aren't natural for them. When we raise animals here, we try to give them the best life that they can possibly have. We try to give them a life that allows them to be the type of animal that they were made to be.
So you guys, I hope you enjoyed spending some time with us this morning with the animals, and I hope that it helped you understand our position on why we raise our own meat and how we can do it. If you're enjoying our channel and you're not subscribed yet, please consider hitting the subscribe button below. And if you know someone else who has the same mindset of us, or they would enjoy our lifestyle and seeing it on YouTube, please share our videos and our channel with them. And until next time, thank you so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care and God bless.
God bless.